Hello, job seekers. Melanie here with CGL Recruiting. And today we're going to be talking about what really happens if you lie on your resume. Now, I'm a little disappointed that I have to do a video on this, but I've been asked this question a couple times now. Well, what if I put this on my resume and I really don't? And what if I put this on underneath this experience and I really don't have it? And so I feel the need to address this to let you know, as an HR person, I can tell you firsthand what really happens if you lie on your resume. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment now, consider doing that. It really does help our channel. If you feel like this data is helpful, as always, give us that thumbs up in the end if you feel it has benefited you. Okay, so you are trying to apply for all of these jobs, and you keep feeling like you're missing out and not getting through all these applicant tracking systems because you're missing one or two key skills. And so you decide instead, let me see if I can put something on my resume that I don't really have. Now, there's varying degrees of this. Some people will go so far as to put a degree that they didn't actually earn. Maybe they went to college for 3 years and didn't actually graduate, but they'll put on there that they graduated. Or there's ones that will fudge their dates on their employment. Or there's other ones that will say, oh yes, we did Lean Six Sigma, no worries, and I have that skill. So as an HR person, I want to tell you, please do not do this, because I have been involved in multiple terminations of employees that it's come out that they falsified their resume. Now, before somebody comes back at me and says, well, a resume is not a legal document, you are correct. It's not an actual legal document. And you can highlight things, parts of your history and your background on it, and it's your choice what goes on there and what doesn't. But when you start lying on a resume and misleading an employer, that's where you get into trouble. And I don't want you to think that if you do it on your resume and you get past the interview and get a job offer and you're with them for 6 months, a year, that the issue is no longer is going to come back to haunt you, because it still does. I have been involved in terminations of employees that are 3 years in, and then it comes out that they lied about their degree. And what happens is those people are terminated, and they are terminated for cause. And what that means in the US is you were terminated for something that was your fault, not something that's like a layoff where it's not your fault or something. And unfortunately, that is going to then carry through with you for the rest of your career. Because one of the questions you're going to see a lot when you're applying for different companies is, have you ever been terminated, fired, or asked to resign from a position? And you are then going to have to say yes. And the first question that they're going to ask you is, explain why, or tell me why. And when you get to something that is like falsification of information, that is something that companies consider as a core value or a core ethic. And so if they feel like you're willing to lie on your resume to them, what are you going to else lie to them about in the future? So it's not something that you should ever consider doing. Now, if you do feel like you're not being considered for positions because you're missing a key skill and it's stopping you from getting through the applicant tracking systems, there is a way that you can get through the applicant tracking systems without lying. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. So let's say, for example, the position that you're requiring or that you're applying to is continually asking for a master's degree. And you don't have a master's degree on your resume, but you're in process of getting one. Like you've started already taking classes, or you have applied to start that process. The second you start those activities, you can put those on your resume. And when you put them on your resume, you just need to be really clear of saying, began attending school for a master's degree in human resources. And then remember, applicant tracking systems think black and white, ones and zeros. So they are going to let you through if you have anything on there for a master's degree. And then it will be up to the people who are actually looking at your information to make a choice. Is that a firm requirement that you have to actually already have that master's degree, in which case you're going to get in the no pile, right? They're willing to, or they have the freedom to be able to say, yes, that is or isn't a requirement. Or are they going to say, oh my gosh, this person's experience is so amazing that I am willing to interview them still, see how it goes, and then see how far along they are with the master's, and potentially that's enough. And as long as they continue down this path, they would be a great addition to our team. So the difference here is, though, you're not lying and saying that you have a master's degree. That is absolutely wrong. We even have a saying in HR when it comes to lying on any kind of HR paperwork, or company paperwork, I should say, or resume, and that is, you lie, you die. If you lie on it, it's an ethical core value, you're gone, you're done. But by putting things like this on your resume in a different way, you can still get through the applicant tracking systems. And this is true not only for things like education, but it's also true for skills. So let's say that the positions that you're applying for are continually asking for experience with Lean Six Sigma, but you don't yet have that where you've done that in a company. And this is especially true for recent graduates where they just haven't had a chance to get that experience in a company. Remember, the systems are going to search for your data based on the different keywords. So if you choose to go out to a class and take a class, whether that's an online, like a LinkedIn learning class, or if it's with a college or university or just some other entity that's offering a Lean Six Sigma class, you can then put that training or that certification or skill on your resume. You can say attended, Lean Six Sigma 101 with the following organization. And then when the applicant tracking system goes in and somebody enters in, I'm looking for somebody with this skill, Lean Six Sigma, you come up in the search. But you're not lying about a skill that you have. You're very clearly stating on your resume, this is the skill that I have and this is how I got it. So you at least get past the system, and then you have the second part, which is the actual person that's going to look at your information and say, okay, well, they may not have done this yet in a company, but they have a great background with everything else, and I can see that they've done training in Lean Six Sigma. That's enough. Let's bring them in and have an interview. Is it always going to get you past, it always get you in for that interview? No, but you have a much, much better chance. The systems, again, only see ones and zeros. People are going to look at you more holistically. They're going to look at you to say, oh, well, I'm going to look at all of their skills and not necessarily just this one. All right, job seekers. So the net of this video is, please, I am begging you, do not ever lie on your resume, on an application, or any data that you are submitting into a company. It will come back to get you. And it's the last thing that anybody wants to do, is to have to take a great employee and terminate them because they've lied about something. All right, job seekers, if this information was helpful, please share it with other videos. And as always, I will see you next time.